Your phone is taking away much more from you than you actually think. And you probably don't even realize that yet. Now in this video, I'm going to break down the cost of addiction, how to effectively lower your screen time, and the 3 levels of self-discipline and practical ways to shift the frame so that you don't have to use your phone. For a second, just think about how amazing your life would be, how much more productive you would be if your phone wasn't distracting you all the time. Now, a 4-hour screen time might not seem like a lot, but 4 hours over the next 60 years is actually 10 years of your life. So let's get into the video. Take some notes because information without implementation is just productive procrastination. Part number 1, the cost of addiction. You see, there is a whole world out there. There are so many things you could do with your time. But every time you choose a cheap dopamine hit, you are potentially choosing against something more meaningful, like the work, like reading, like a good habit, like something that actually improves you. Everything is a choice. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else that you could have been doing in that same time. And every time you say no, you're creating space so you can say yes to something else. Now, the way this goes is simple. When you choose easy dopamine hits, like checking your phone, like going on social media, like scrolling, like just being on reels, you are programming and wiring your brain to take the easy path. And this creates behavior that just keeps repeating itself. Every time you feel stuck with your work, you go on your phone. Every single time you don't know what to do and you feel overwhelmed, you go on your phone. Every time you feel stressed and bored, you check your phone and go on social media. Every single negative emotion has a trigger, and it triggers you to go on your phone and check your phone. But what if your phone wasn't the problem at all? What if your phone was just the symptom of something deeper? And that brings about the question, why does it feel normal for you to spend hours every single day on your phone? Why have we normalized as a society high screen times, checking your phone every 5 minutes, having your phone with you everywhere you go? If you took somebody from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and you gave them a time machine so they could travel to the present, they would be so shocked. They would be like, what are people actually doing? Everywhere they go, they just see people looking down on their phones. Like, think about this. What even is that? You know, you're looking at pixels on your phone, like just like a square metal box, a rectangle metal box, which just has like pixels and like light. It's just like, so how can you spend hours a day, you know, spending time and energy focusing on something that is just like an object? So among the many things we're going to be talking about today, I really want to emphasize environment for one. And also the second thing is, are we using our phone as tools? You see, nowadays, you can use your phone to make money. You can use your phone to start a business. You can use your phone to research and gain access to so much information that otherwise, years ago, you didn't have access to. And that's the thing, you have so much access to so much information that it gets overwhelming. That instead you choose to do something else, to entertain yourself, to scroll, to just waste time. And I'll think about that for a second. If you walked into a restaurant, and you open the menu and there was 1,000 food items there, 1,000 appetizers, dishes, main courses, drinks, beverages, and all that stuff. Think about how hard it would be to choose what you actually want, to choose what's good. Like, you just have this analysis paralysis because there's so many options. And in the same way, with your phone, there are just so many options. You could do so many things on your phone. You could do research. You could also scroll Instagram. You could also message people. You could also listen to music. You could also, you know, do whatever you want. Like, it's like the opportunities are endless. And that's exactly why it becomes so addictive. So before we get into part number 2, how much time did you spend on your phone? What were your most used apps? We can do a cool experiment here to just compare screen times. For me, I spent 47 minutes on my phone yesterday. Now, if you're watching this video, you are on the right path. You're part of the people who want to get into the top 1%, ambitious people who want to improve their lives and build towards self-mastery. But just make sure you're not just absorbing information, you're also implementing by taking notes. And subscribe to the channel for weekly self-improvement just like this. Part number 2, the urge. So when you're actually using your phone, you need to identify what is the process. Number 1, you get an urge. Maybe you're feeling bored, maybe you're feeling stressed, maybe you're feeling confused and overwhelmed. And that feeling triggers the emotion and triggers the thought of checking your phone. And then you do that thing. You don't just check your phone by mistake. You check your phone because you're feeling something else. So if you check your phone because you're feeling bored, then just fill up your day and do things that make you feel alive. If you check and use your phone so much because you feel stressed, do something that makes you de-stress. You know, go to the gym, spend some time by the pool, reading a book, spend some time getting some sun. If you scroll because you feel uncertain or overwhelmed, then just take out a notebook and plan out the top things you have to do. Simplify your life and your habits and your tasks by writing them down and checking them off. You see, instead of just focusing on the symptom, focus on the root cause. Instead of trying to fix these small things, what you can do is build a life you don't even need to escape from. You see, your phone and social media is just a form of escapism. It's a form of escaping a feeling that you don't like. So think about what would be the smartest way to remove the habit. It would actually be to remove the feeling that causes it. And that happens when you take out a journal, do some self-reflection, and understand the loop. Understand what triggers you. What is that urge that allows you and forces you and like almost creates this pull for you to check your phone? What that thing was for me is every time I would do a difficult task, like maybe recording a 30-minute video or having a call for an hour, a coaching call, or the Sunday presentations that we do inside of Discipline OS. Every time I had something like that, at the end, I would just like feel low energy because I just given all my energy to this one thing. And for me, for a long time, that was my trigger to just go and lay on my bed, check my phone, check a few things, and then eventually scroll. Now, once I realized that was actually sabotaging me, I actually went and I fixed it. Instead of checking my phone after something like recording a long video, which involves a lot of talking, a lot of energy expenditure, what I would do was I would just take a walk, or I would drink some water, or I would do some deep breathing. It's really just changing what you do that provides new evidence that changes and rewires these behaviors. In a way, this whole time, you've just been training yourself so that as soon as you feel bored, you open your phone. But instead, you can retrain your brain to, as soon as you feel bored, you do something else. So accept and be okay with being bored, with feeling stressed, with feeling overwhelmed and confused. Understand that these are normal things and create a protocol, something that you do after those moments that changes the way you feel. If you're feeling overwhelmed and confused, you don't need your phone. You just need to take a walk. Just a 15-minute walk in nature, outside, wherever you are, is enough to reset your mind and allow you to start thinking clearly. And you know that changes everything. And that's also why something like filming a video is something that is pretty hard. It's high energy. It requires a lot of mental focus and concentration and being in the flow state. And that's exactly why something like recording a video, talking to the camera just like I am now, is something I do first thing in the morning. Whatever requires the most energy, the most mental capacity, do it first thing in the morning. So that is one thing. Another thing is awareness, which we're going to be talking about in part number 3. Now, for those of you watching this who are ambitious, who actually want to make a change in their life, then check out our school community, Discipline OS, linked below. It's a community and operating system that helps you build better habits, fix your focus, and build more discipline. I'll talk more about that later. Let's go to part number 3. Regaining control. There are 3 levels I'm going to be talking about. These are the 3 hierarchies of self-discipline. Now, level number 1 is control your environment. So this is all about environment engineering. Think about it. If you have a problem with like eating sweets, you eat a lot of chocolate or junk food, what's the solution? Number 1, understand that the reason why you eat a lot of junk food is probably because there's a lot of junk food that is easily accessible. You probably have chocolate and sweets and like a cake in the fridge, and all these things are just near and like they're so accessible. So with environment design, you want to make it so that you don't have things in your environment that can sabotage you. If you want to focus, sit at your desk and you can't have your phone anywhere near you. What I like to do actually with the phone as a distraction to keep it away is number 1, I keep it on airplane mode, and number 2, I put it in a cupboard. I make sure it is in a cupboard or someplace closed like a box far from me. Now, just the fact that it's out of sight, just the fact that it's like hidden, creates this mental disconnect between you and your phone. You almost detach in a way from your phone, from checking it, from it potentially distracting you. And that's actually so important. So you want to make the unwanted behavior hard to access, and you want to reduce the triggers around you. This alone, reducing triggers and making your environment in such a way that it helps you focus and that it's actually hard to get distracted and do something else, that is going to make your life so much easier, and it is going to allow you to build discipline. Because think about it. If you're sitting at your desk and your phone is literally next to you, and every time you get a notification, it vibrates, you're just going to be thinking like it's there, it's accessible. You just have to reach out your hand and pick it up. That is an example of an environment that is working against you. Or for example, you want to get into very deep creative thought, but your room is a mess. Everything is everywhere. Everything is chaotic. You have like clothes everywhere. You have it's just untidy. In that case, what's going to happen is your environment is going to shape the way you think. Same thing, if you're overthinking, chances are it's because you're in a small environment. If you're in a small environment, you're going to be thinking small and closed thoughts. But if you're in a big environment, if you're outside, you're going to be thinking big and open thoughts. Your environment shapes your willpower. Your environment shapes the way you think, shapes your habits, and just like your mindset in general. So do not underestimate your environment. Now, level 2 for self-discipline is controlling your impulses. After you've designed your environment in such a way that it makes the good habits easy and the bad habits ugly, you want to control your impulses. Learn to create space between thought and action. Usually what happens is you get the thought of checking your phone, and then instantly, within seconds, without even thinking, there's no space, you just do the action and check your phone. But what if every time you got the thought to do something, maybe it's a bad habit, maybe it's checking your phone and scrolling, instead you just created a gap in thought and action, a space, and that is where you train your self-control. As soon as you create a gap, you reduce emotions, and it makes it easier to detach. So this is like the 5-second, 10-second, 30-second rule, 5-minute rule, whatever you want to call it. It is just allowing yourself time between when you first get the thought to doing the thing. Urges have an expiration date, so if you just leave them and let them expire, then you'll be in a good spot. But if you just act on the urges immediately, then you're putting yourself in a bad position. So learn to sit with the urge instead of instantly acting on it. This is exactly how you train self-control. And the third level of building self-discipline is controlling your behavior. You want to build a life where your phone is not the default source of stimulation or the default source of relief or escape. Create a life, a routine, and habits that you don't need to escape from. You need to learn how to accept being bored, living through boredom. A lot of people are scared of boredom. Every time they get bored and like anxious, they start overthinking and they feel the need to escape. But once you're okay with being bored, with just sitting in silence, then actually you become more self-aware and you actually don't have to use your phone as much. There's a quote that goes, "Push is temporary, but pull lasts forever." So let your life become the pull that you need away from your phone. And a way to control your behavior is control how you start the day. Think about this. If you start off your day and within the first hour of the day, you're already on your phone, social media, answering messages, checking your phone, then it's going to be way more easier to do more of that habit, more of checking your phone, later throughout the day. Because your dopamine is influenced first thing in the morning. After you wake up, your dopamine is sensitive, so whatever you do sets the baseline. I've found that the pull from me and my phone, like this urge to check my phone and scroll, is so much lower when in the morning I didn't even touch my phone. And the exact opposite is true. If I actually use my phone first thing in the morning within an hour or two, it's actually so much easier and it feels so like I have this urge to check my phone and spend more time throughout the day. So you want to start the day right, start the day without your phone, start the day just doing habits that make you feel alive. Do something like reading, do something like just freshening up, making coffee. You know, read a book, meditate, journal a bit, spend some time in the morning doing things that are offline. Things that are analog. You're going to be spending enough time on devices, on technology anyways. So it's not going to change anything if you just spend the first hour of the day offline. And you might be thinking, I have messages to respond to, but like the truth is, it can wait. People are not going to change if you respond like an hour after. And especially in the morning, people don't even notice that you responded an hour later. So anything you think, oh, I have to check my phone, I have to check messages, I have to open and do this and do this and do this, it can all wait for at least 1 to 2 hours. And if it can't wait, then it's probably the wrong thing. So let's set a goal and a challenge for the next week ahead. I want you to spend no more than 30 minutes a day on your phone. Obviously, things like Google Maps, things like using navigation or like listening to music in the background, which might add screen time. Obviously, those things don't count, but I'm talking about just like using the apps, what apps you're using. If you're video calling with a friend or family for 30 minutes, that doesn't count as well. What counts for screen time is what you're actually, when you're actually physically opening your phone and like your phone is in your hand and you're doing something like you're on Instagram, you're like on Gmail, like whatever you're doing, that is screen time. You're going to want to keep your screen time, your active screen time below 30 minutes, 30 minutes or less. Set yourself this challenge for the next week. And if you can't follow through, then how can you actually build more success and do more things? I believe that the biggest success starts with the smallest habits. Like how can you become a millionaire if you can't even make your bed consistently? How can you achieve big success if you can't even pick up a book and read for 10 minutes? The way you do anything is the way you do everything. What I will also advise is taking everything you do on your phone, like WhatsApp, messaging, checking things, and migrate that to your computer. That way you actually have no excuse to check your phone. If you really have to check a message, respond to somebody, sort some things out, you can easily do that on your computer. Even Instagram, I have Instagram on my PC and like I'm not going to scroll. You're not going to scroll when it's on your computer. You only scroll because it's a phone and it's so accessible and it's so portable. So set yourself this challenge. And also in Discipline OS, our private community, we have Sunday calls every single week. There are presentations held by myself where we ask questions as well that will change your life. And also we run challenges related to discipline, self-improvement, and building better habits. And now if you're interested in joining a group that works on their identity, on their mindset to build discipline, fix their habits, then check out Discipline OS linked in the description below. Watch that quick video over there. It explains everything, and then join today. Remember, the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Your level of success never exceeds your level of discipline. Take care, and you got this.